Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Young Entrepreneur Academy VIP webinar. So great to see you all, and so great to see some familiar faces as well. We really do have our VIPs on this call. So welcome. Are we all good to go? Perfect. Okay, so this is our Genius School 2021 VIP webinar, and we're looking at Education 5.0 for teens, tomorrow's leaders and entrepreneurs. And we know that, as Nelson Mandela says, and I love this quote, education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. So true. It's a great quote. So in this webinar, well, first of all, I'll introduce myself. So I'm Angie Stead, the co-founder and leader of Genius School, and I'm here with the amazing Karin Bonanno, who leads our Young Entrepreneur Academy and plays a key role here in Genius School. And we also have our amazing team here, Kerry and Penny. So give everyone a wave, guys. So in this call, we are going to be talking about Genius School. Who is Genius School? What is Genius School? Why is Genius School important? Why the crisis has challenged the education system? The urgency of future skill development and the learning pathways to successful learners from toddlers to teens, and how to prepare your child as a future leader. And of course, the new solutions in education. And as you can imagine, Genius School plays a huge part in that too, in the new solutions. So Genius School offers child-centered, personalized learning pathways that ignite the genius in children, creating self-aware lifelong learners and empowering our future leaders, learning, creating and earning together. And you'll hear some of these words in that statement. You'll hear some of these words through the conversation that we have in this webinar, and that will give you a really good insight into how we do that. So the problem we're solving is that people of all ages know that they need new skills and resources to survive in rapidly changing times. And our current education system doesn't provide a recognized curriculum that we can rely on to deliver this. With the current job crisis and education crisis, and of course, because of and with the pandemic, this problem has become more pronounced than ever. And the last global system designed to address our most modern challenge was the IB, which was the International Baccalaureate, which was created over 50 years ago. So a new system is long overdue. And the IB is still quite respected, but definitely outdated. So the problem's been highlighted a number of times in the World Economic Forum in their white paper, and when they looked at the need for 21st century education systems. So they identified this framework for the future skills, which is that we need global citizenship skills. We need innovation and creativity skills, and of course with that, technology skills as well. You know, the so-called soft skills of the past are now a skill of the future. You know, these interpersonal skills are really, really important going forwards. And the need for personalized and self-paced learning too. So instead of having learning that's standardized, then we need to learning that's based on diverse individual needs of each learner, and that's flexible enough to enable learners to learn at their own pace. And Karin will be discussing some of the strategies and approaches to doing that as well that we use within Genius School. Accessible and inclusive learning. You know, as global citizens, it's really important when we're looking at global citizenship skills as well, that learning is accessible and inclusive to all, and that we have problem-based and collaborative learning experiences. And we teach this through our Young Entrepreneur Academy, that, you know, the key to a successful business is solving other people's problems. We need to prepare our children with the skills to be able to think that way and to be able to approach that kind of problem and know how to go about solving these global problems. and to create a business and a life for themselves in doing so. And of course, lifelong and student-driven learning. And the great thing about Genius School is it starts from 0 through to end of life. If you look at what we're doing within Genius School, with our schools and universities and our, I guess, extracurricular, but the really curricular activities with our Young Entrepreneur Academy and our Teen Quest and other programs that we have going for our young people. So that students are empowered to lead their own learning. It's driven, they're intrinsically motivated to learn, is essentially what I'm saying. So why the crisis has challenged the education system. So we have made a rapid shift from traditional to hybrid learning, and this is redefining the role of the educator. So this means that educators need to move more towards facilitating young people's development as contributing members of society, rather than being the sage at the front of the class, just dumping knowledge for children to remember. That's so outdated. So the crisis did challenge the education system, but the education system was changing anyway. And that's because it's not working. It's not serving our young people. It's just that the crisis, the pandemic, forced that change to happen in a very short period of time. So in having this redefined role as an educator, where educators are becoming more facilitators of learning, raising the self-awareness of individuals, then our teachers, our children, our young people, I should say, are developing learning dispositions and skills and character traits that build their resilience, that make them flexible, support their flexibility and adaptability, both in their learning and in life experiences, building their emotional intelligence, their creativity and critical thinking skills, and of course their entrepreneurial skills too. And many of these are interlinked. And, you know, as we know, it is our dispositions that make us learners, our attitudes and our beliefs around learning, and our enjoyment of the learning process as well. So if learning is student-led, student-driven, then students are going to be more engaged, and they're going to be more, they're going to enjoy the learning process a lot more, with the goal of creating continuous learning throughout life. So lifelong learners of the future. And if anybody has any questions or comments, do just post them in chat as we go, and we can come back to them. So are we all good? Any comments or questions so far? Oh, cool. So if we look at the top 10 skills of 2025, now we're looking at future skills development here. So what skills are we going to need by 2025? And if we look and we could argue actually these are skills that are needed now, not just by 2025, but certainly straight away. But skills needed by 2025 have been identified as problem-solving skills, analytical thinking and innovation. So you can see the creativity coming in there too, complex problem-solving skills, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality and initiative, reasoning, problem-solving and ideation. Nowhere there do we see anything about standardized testing and the one-size-fits-all model of education. Our young people need to be able to work with other people, so developing their leadership and their social influence. And again, we'll share a lot more about some of our programs where it's very clear that we're teaching all of these skills. Their ability to self-manage, to manage oneself, so to be active learning and learning strategies, resilience, stress tolerance and flexibility. And we've all been tested here over the last 12 months for sure. Technology use and development, we've all been tested here in the last 12 months as well. So the ability to use technology and monitoring and controlling that too. And we've had, you know, even within Genius School, we've had learnings about cyber safety, and, you know, we are very clear of the importance and understand the importance of keeping our students safe. So there's so much to think about when we're using technology for learning and for business too. And also, excuse me, technology design and programming. So they're all the future skills and the top 10 skills needed by 2025. And if we look at where the world is now and the rapid shift of the last 12 months, none of those skills are a surprise to any of us, I'm sure. So in Genius School, we teach our students how to think, not what to think. And I love this quote by Albert Einstein, and that is that education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned at school. That's so cool, isn't it? So we prepare students with the skills for the future, and we support them to become lifelong learners. And we do that through our curriculum, which is a personalized curriculum, and it's based on 8 core principles that form a lifelong pathway. And they're segmented into 2 things: philanthropy, the love of what it is to be human, and philosophy, the love of the world around us. So we have self-mastery, knowing and growing your unique talents, your passions, and your purpose. And many of you will know that we have tools within Genius U that support this, but it's actually embedded into the Genius School curriculum, and it's part of everything that we do. Developing leadership skills, developing team communication and relationship skills. And of course, there's the necessary skills, life skills like 3 R's, language, living, health, and happiness. How cool is that to see that on a curriculum? So, and self-expression, exploring creativity, art, and other forms of self-expression as well. And then when we look at the love of the world around us, it's building skills in planning, research, and decision-making, building entrepreneurship skills, resourcefulness, and financial literacy, etc. Technology, learning critical thinking skills, coding and future technologies, and of course, understanding nature and sustainability as global citizens. So our difference, and this is great, it's great to see, Karin put these slides together here. So this is a great comparison. Thank you, Karin. So when we compare standardized versus personalized, the difference between the two. So traditional education is a one-size-fits-all curriculum with students completing by passing or failing standardized tests. Learning is hard work and it's not very engaging. Versus personalized, which is the polar opposite. We begin with each student's unique personality. We begin with each student's unique personality, skills, and abilities, and we create a personalized learning pathway that makes learning fun and engaging. And the interesting thing is, we know this is important for preschool children. So we trust children under 5 to do this, but then for many, when they start school, we think they're no longer capable of having a personalized learning experience. Also comparing academic skills to life skills. So traditional education is often focused on academic subjects and does not prepare students to thrive in today's world. And that results in students who are ill-equipped for our rapidly changing world. Whereas when we teach life skills, our curriculum combines academic skills with life skills to develop leaders and global citizens and entrepreneurs. This equips them with the personal, interpersonal, financial, and future skills to succeed. So you can see for Genius School, it's not about the curriculum and what we teach. It's also about how we teach it. It's about what that looks like in practice and how we put the student at the center of their learning experience. Then we look to age level learning versus lifelong learning. You know, by having age level learning, and we most leave school at 18 and some decide to go on to university, but it still has a finite, expiry date that we finish school or we finish university when we've passed these tests or reached this age or this milestone, versus our lifelong learning pathway, whereas learning is part of life, it's part of who we are. and something that enriches life and enriches our lifelong experience. So traditional education is designed as a production line with primary, secondary and university education based on age levels, irrelevant to skills or levels. So, you know, it's if you're this age, you stay in this class. Yes, some schools might allow you to move up, but by the time they leave school, they tend to slot back into the same as everybody else. So leaving those ahead disengaged and those behind disenchanted. Whereas our lifelong learning system enables each student to progress through their chosen subjects at their own pace and includes all ages from prep right through to adult learning. And as many of you will have experienced yourselves, for yourself, or at least with your children or your students, is that we might excel in some subjects and fall behind in others. So, you know, if children can learn at their own pace and learn their chosen subjects, then they've got many more opportunities to excel and to shine. And that builds other competencies as well, like their confidence, like their ability to manage themselves, their self-awareness, etc., etc. And then when we look at the local curriculum versus the global curriculum, many students are limited to their local school or their local teacher or their local school system. Whereas a global curriculum, like the curriculum we offer through Genius School, is our EdTech platform and a combination of our global team of educators, regional mentors, local facilitators, makes our world-class education available to everybody and everywhere. So pretty amazing. Then we look at exam-based versus challenge-based. So you can see that the differences when we put the child at the center of the learning experience are just massive. So if we look at exam-based education, where we measure a narrow set of exam-taking skills, versus our challenge-based system, where its learning is fun, engaging, relevant, and enables the student to play to their strengths. And we're not limiting them, because the challenge-based is challenging them where they're at. They could already be excelling, but who says they can't do even better? So, you know, we don't limit them based on our beliefs of where they're at. So if we compare, sorry about this, information focused versus impact focused. So the highest level of traditional education system is PhD, with a research-based thesis. The top institutions are measured by the level of research and academics. Excuse me. Excuse me. And they're not measured by their impact. Whereas impact focused, the ultimate goal of our system is to have an impact on the 17 United Nations global goals, the Sustainable Development Goals. And our students utilize their natural strengths and abilities to make a contribution towards these goals, no matter what their age. And we've had some amazing students through our programs make a massive contribution towards the Sustainable Development Goals, and make a massive contribution towards their own bank account while doing it too. So a massive impact. And then when we look at centralized versus decentralized, you know, traditional education is based on a system, courses and tests that are centrally designed and prepared, which makes them become very quickly outdated or irrelevant. Whereas our EdTech system and modular focus enables the children to have young people to have a voice in the quality of that educational experience, with a real-time rating system that, as I say, is driven by the students. And then teachers teaching versus learning learners or leading learners. The current system requires teachers to be trained to deliver outdated course content with limited earning opportunity, whereas our learning leaders, our programs in Genius U enables any individual to be trained with the best educators globally, and to become accredited and able to create and deliver course content. So it's learning learners. Sorry, not learning leaders, but it could be either. Just to confuse you if you're visual and reading along. So students and educators can create their own course content and are able to deliver it themselves. So again, we even saw this in our Young Entrepreneur Academy, where one of our students actually created a whole business around mentoring other students who were around about her age, maybe a bit younger, but not too far off her age, which was so amazing. And, you know, she even managed to sell the idea that she'd be much better than an experienced teacher / tutor because she understood the students more. And she's absolutely right, of course. So we are developing learning pathways for successful learning based on the law of curiosity. Growth is stimulated by asking why. And if our students have experiential, student-led learning experiences that are driven by their natural curiosity through a play-based curriculum for our children under 8, or a project-based curriculum for older children, 8 up to, I don't know, could be 13, 14, 15, then to a promotion-based curriculum, which is essentially a project through which they can make money. So we're teaching our students all along that they can be earning or learning, and ideally both. So that's about Genius School. Now we have Karin Bonanno here, who's one of our leading Genius educators. And she's also got teacher background, head teacher background, teacher librarian background, amazing Genius educator, and all-round good egg, Karin. So I would like to hand over to Karin, because this really is her expertise, and she has lots of wisdom to share around project-based, inquiry-based learning. So Karin, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Angie. I'll just get you to stop sharing your screen there.
Thank you. Told you she was a genius.
And what I need to do is make sure that when I share mine, I include the sound, because I've got some videos to show you of some of our amazing young people. Now, I just want to start here where Angie left off, because we continue the whole concept of the play-based curriculum through, because right at the very beginning, you know, young kids are born with this element of curiosity, and we don't want to lose that. And that's why when we're going down this personalized learning pathway and getting them to be creative and critical thinkers, we're still building on this basis of the law of curiosity. And just to put it in context, and I'll put this link into the chat, just reinforcing what Angie was saying, that the Genius School is part of the whole Genius group. And so we are getting the kids at a very early age here and starting to take them on that nurturing pathway to develop their ability to be a young leader, to be a genius, to be an entrepreneur as they progress through. So we're involved in this very early stage. So I'll just pop this link in, because some of you might be interested in reading a little bit more about the whole Genius group curriculum and where we fit in this space as well. So getting back to the slides, just to carry this through, we take kids up to this next level where we've got them engaging in what we call a project base. So that starts to align with the challenge base, with the impact based learning, and we take them through this level of inquiry. So the level of inquiry is all around getting them to start to ignite their ability to be asking questions and to be critical and creative thinkers, and then to be innovative as a result of that. And as you can see here, we have our 5 W's and how, and there's a whom in there as well. So that's for those who are strongly oriented towards the correct grammar when you use your who and whom. But those questions are all there, and we encourage the kids to be involved in that. And we have a little technique that we use. So we've got all different teaching strategies. And so some of you have probably seen the hand technique, but I'm not going to go through that tonight. You'll have to wait for another moment in time when I'll teach you about the hand, or, you know, if you get your kids to sign up through a Young Entrepreneur Academy or other programs, they'll be able to teach you that process. But the big question that we have is getting them to look at problems. So that's where we start to align the United Nations Sustainable Goals, but also getting them, when we're engaging them in the academy, is looking at, well, what are the problems in the world that someone needs solving whereby you could earn money? So you're not only learning, but you're also earning as well. And that takes us into the next level that we take our young people through, is getting this whole contribution-based, purpose-based, impact-based learning in place, where they're developing these essential entrepreneurial skills that will see them into the future. And as Angie said, we've got young people who are excelling ahead, where they're actually making money already. So after our 4 weeks, they've got a business, they launch it and they get underway, and then we continue to support them. And so they go through this process, which we call a promotion plan. And sorry that our little circle there has gone a bit odd. We'll fix that one up. But they go through a promotion plan, and we have this 11-step framework that we take them through. And they learn a whole lot about themselves, about others, about how they need to be, you know, empathetic. So we're building some of that social emotional intelligence, but we're also looking at this whole concept of learning, but then they're earning as well. And as you can see, Angie's playing the space there. That's the wonders of collaboration. So we are mindful of that all the time. And of course, we encourage them to realize that, you know, it's all about a reflection of them. And we say to them too, that their business is also a reflection of them. So to be more efficient, you have to look at who you are, develop your high level of self-awareness, and step your way through that process. So in a way, when we're preparing children to be future leaders, this is probably more of a simplistic diagram that we're giving you than the one that Angie shared before. But all of those elements that were referenced in that white paper, that were also referenced in the follow-up document from the World Economic Forum about the top 10 skills that we need by 2025. And I would anticipate we probably need them before then, because we're finding that with the changes and the rapid changes that are happening in the world of work that our kids will be coming into, we need to be focused on that. So these are the 6 C's that we are mindful of. And of course, the aspect of character education there is all about building that social emotional intelligence, building that resilience, building that ability to bear up against the odds and stick with it and have a future focus and a vision, and stay with it to develop their character as they go through. And then the citizenship part is not only just about what it is to be a responsible citizen, like a leading learner in the world, but also what it is to be mindful of the environment around them and create that high level of awareness. So we've got the responsibility as a digital citizen and how they operate, but also that higher level of awareness of the world and the things that the world need to then align with the United Nations Sustainable Goals. Then as we work with the kids, we're not just working with them at their level, we're also teaching them about collaboration skills, how they work with others, how they might build a team in their business, or how they might work with others to achieve the outcome of a common goal. And then, of course, their creativity and imagination, still building on that element of play. Play comes out of that sense of wonderment, sense of looking around, observing what's happening, taking notice of things, and then going, well, what can we do here to make the world a better place, and being innovative and creative. And then the critical thinking and problem solving comes into play. And also this effective communication, because our kids are working in a digital world, so they have to learn some level of sensitivity to the cultural aspects that are happening around them. So there's this rich level that we embrace kids in to be their future leaders. And I know Angie was playing on the words of leading learners or learning leaders, or whatever it is. I mean, these are our future leaders, and they're going to play a role in all of that. They're going to be learning constantly. They're also going to be young leaders when they get their voice and their sense of awareness that they can speak up. And this is a whole process that we do, that we're not putting them into a lockstep of you will do this at a set time and you can't move on until you've done that. It's more a case of we allow them to explore, and then we have our experienced educators there having that zone of intervention to say, okay, this is where we'll nudge you along and support you and provide you with the tools and resources that you need to then keep going. And so that's the whole focus that we have around this. And we kind of wrap this around the whole concept of the ikigai. And some of you may be familiar with that, that it is this Japanese concept of purpose. And if you do a search on that, you'll find that there's a lot of references to countries around the world where ikigai is the essence of everything they do. And so it brings about this sense of longevity. It brings about this sense of living on purpose, of being meaningful in a fulfilled life. And some countries have generations that are very elderly, and it's because they work from this basic premise. So I think that's a pretty good incentive in itself to find your ikigai so that you can have this sense of purpose and contribution. So we get our kids to go through this. As Angie said, we have tools that help us to start them off here with what they're good at, with our Teen Genius test or our Teen Dynamics profiling. And then we get them to also explore what they're passionate about, what they love doing, what really excites them. And we build on that. And as experienced educators, we can take their interest and then help them to develop the learning moments that they need in that space. And then what the world needs is where we align with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And for most kids, they're becoming aware of that because there is quite a strong interest from a younger generation to be doing all different things like the ocean cleanup, the windmill power in Africa. So young people around the world are stepping up as these future leaders, and we give them the opportunity to become more aware of that. But then we also see this transformation when we have the kids coming through the academy as well. And then this is where the academy really kicks in, because all of a sudden they can find that they can combine all of this and they can get paid to do it. So we have our kids who are really strong in the people smart area, who love doing things like podcasting or connecting up with people and doing social media. And then we have the others who are really into being creative, but being more detailed, and they become creative in their writing. We had one young man who suffers from dyslexia, but he was into the detail. So he really researched the type of font and the material that someone with dyslexia could read, and he created a book so that it was designed purely for people who have dyslexia, and it was allowing them to be able to read. So we've got these kids really connecting in with who they are, but then also looking at the problems in the world and bringing about the change that they need. And so this is brings us to the kind of the key point of the presentation is about the Young Entrepreneur Academy. And it is a 4-week virtual program. And we run a few of these so far, and I'll share some stories about some of our students. Now, you might think it's 4-week virtual, and I know some parents with their kids are kind of over the Zoom and over the virtual, but I can assure you it's not 4 weeks solid online. We meet online 1 hour a day between Monday and Friday, and that's a mixture of getting the content and having entrepreneurial mentors with them. Then there's also a time when we are there with them as the facilitators to guide them through the developmental steps that they need to identify their business, to then create it, to then design it, and then eventually to launch it. So we have 2 levels. We have a junior group and we have a senior group. And also we invite the parents to come along and be involved. We invite parents to come along to a few sessions, but what we often find is the parents get pretty interested in as well. So I can assure you, at our school, we don't toss you out of the classroom. We allow you to stay in there, and we encourage you to be there because, of course, we're looking for you to have that ongoing support for your child. So this is a little bit more about the Academy, and as I indicated in the chat, we will make these slides available to you. There'll be a follow-up email and you'll get the slides there. But this is really about not only igniting the genius, but it's also bringing that out. It's getting that, amplifying their genius to bring it to a higher level, as these will be the young leaders and entrepreneurs of tomorrow. And it's fun and interactive. I can assure you that when Angie refers to play-based learning, I'm probably the biggest kid in the room. I often enjoy dress up, and I use the dress up as a means of telling the story. So, tonight I could put my captain hat on and indicate the reason for the captain hat. but I'm the biggest kid in the group, so I'm still engaged in my learning and making it playful and fun and helping the kids to enjoy that as well. So that's the background there. And what I'm going to do is just share a video with you. This is Luke. Now, Luke was with us. He's now 16, so he's kind of 12 months older, but he came to us already fired up, ready to go into business because he had been dabbling a little bit as a young entrepreneur. And then he decided that as he went through, we could see a shift in the way that he was thinking about business. And then eventually he developed this digital marketing business, which is really taken off. And then in addition to that, he has connected up with some of the other Young Entrepreneur Academy graduates, and they have between the three of them, they have formed another business, which is all about young entrepreneurs helping other young people become entrepreneurs. So these guys are really inspiring. They're fired up. And this is Luke's video. So Angie, I'm going to rely on you to give me a thumbs up to make sure you can hear the sound when I get this up. Let's move some things out of the way here and put it into full screen.
Hey, my name's Luke Mullins and I'm 15 years old.
What is the best thing that you learned or gained from YA?
Got a lot of counselling on my business, the ideas, and how to really get grounded in what I want to specialise in, who's my target audience, so I know exactly what I'm doing.
Tell me a bit about your business and what makes your business unique.
So my business is called redpixel.io, redpxl.io. And what we do here is we help businesses to get more customers every month with digital marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads. And we're different from the rest because we have a guarantee of 1.5x return on investment or your money back, the service fee back.
What motivates you to be such a young entrepreneur?
Well, my dad kind of got me into the world of being an entrepreneur since I was 8 years old. I wanted to start a clothing line. I was 8 years old. It didn't go too well. I don't think I was quite mature enough. But I moved to Australia when I was 10 years old. And, you know, I still had the entrepreneurial spirit. And I love all the flashy things. I love cars, love watches. So I went into a watch shop one day. I was 11 and I was like, oh yeah, that's a Rolex Submariner, that's a Tag Heuer, Big Bang, whatever, that's a AP Royal Oak. And they're like, wow, you know all these watches, come work for us. So I worked for them. They sold watches worth £200,000 or like 150,000 US dollars, like really expensive watches. And I saw the kind of work ethic you needed and how these guys were making their money. And it really motivated me to want to start my own business.
And what's something about yourself that you think makes you a good entrepreneur?
I think because in the Genius U platform, my profile, I'm a star. So I think I'm naturally confident. And I think that really helps me, like jumping on interviews just like this or just questionnaires. I feel really natural. And I think that's really good trait to have as an entrepreneur.
What advice would you give someone who is trying to become a young entrepreneur like yourself?
You know, everyone says hard work, you know, work hard. But before you work hard, you got to know what you need to work hard at. So I say join the Genius School, get your profile promotion plan done. And that will really show what you need to work hard at, because it's all well and good saying, oh, you need to work hard. Everyone knows that. But what you really need to work hard at is key.
All right. Thank you so much, Luke.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, isn't it great to hear from Luke? He's just fired up, that young man, and he's going gangbusters in what he's doing. And as I said, he's teamed up with some of them. And I just might add too that Vanessa, who interviewed Luke, is also one of our graduates, and we have Vanessa working with us to do our social media on our Instagram. So we try and engage our kids in being involved with us along the way. And I guess I shouldn't be calling them kids. These are young men and women, but they're kids to us. And I really would like to keep their the kidness in them, because that's going to be important as well. And then just to give you a little bit more about the Academy and some of the young people that have come through. You we've had them quite as young as 10. So Isa Davidson was a 10-year-old at the time, and she was kind of flip-flopping a bit about what she wanted to do. She was really connected into taking care of the insect world and wasn't quite sure what she'd do, and she was thinking about her problem. And then it took her like about a week or so, and then all of a sudden it was this aha moment she had. And so she wanted to develop, wanted to go into soap making, but using organic, sustainable soaps, because we could then use that to wash our hands and everything and not be affecting the environment around us and having that impact on the insects. And then talking about insects, we've got Alex Blakeley. He started off a while ago with an interest in bees, and then he wasn't quite sure how to develop the business. So he came to us with his beehive, and I'll just bring up his promotion plan. So he's Bee Buff Honey. Now, he went from just having this as an idea and not sure what he was going to do, to by the end of the 4 weeks, he had already customers buying his first harvest of honey. And then it was only about a month ago, I was talking with Alex again, and he was saying how he had gone into his own branded squeeze bottle of honey, and he was now selling them interstate. So this is a young man who got really inspired, and he stepped up. He also involved his siblings, his younger brother and sister, as part of his team. And he does these crazy little videos about honey and bees, and also how you can learn about financial literacy through being a beekeeper. So we've got that kind of happening, which is an amazing thing. And then we've got someone like Karin over in Bali. She is an abstract artist and quite young, and she's an abstract artist. And so she was trying to look at, well, how can I get my art out into the world? And she was able to join us on a program. And by the end of it, she had her artwork in local restaurants. She was starting to connect with galleries. We also connected her up with some of our mentors who come from that art background. And so she's really going ahead. This is just her promotion plan, where you can see she's personalized it with her work. She has an Instagram account, and she's selling her artwork. So she had her future vision. And then she said, why was her artwork different? Well, you could have a sad house, or you could have a happy house by having her artwork there. So that was her promotion plan, looking at a customer and then going through the whole process. And then, well, this is Luke's promotion plan. So this is Redplex, his business for digital marketing. So he has his promotion plan, and he was really quite switched on as to what he wanted to do, as you would have picked up through the video there as well. So we've got kids doing a whole lot of different programs in this, and they come from all various ages, from quite young. 10 is our starting point, and then up to 18. So we have them in, as I said, the 2 groups in that particular space. So this is what we've got as our offer to you. I see some people have already asked about how you can have your child involved in the Young Entrepreneur Academy. So this is normally the price for the Academy is $997, but for this webinar, we're offering it to you at what we call our VIP price. There are some rewards for showing up to our webinars, and this is one of them. So we have 15 spots at $795. And also, as a super duper bonus in there, we're offering you this special opportunity to have your child also involved in our Genius School micro camp. And as I indicated before here with this particular image, what we do is all of our programs, they don't go through kind of the normal school level, but we do take them through the incremental steps. So we start off here in our preschool, where we're looking at that play base, getting them to understand themselves and developing their social awareness. And then we take them up another level each time. So when we're working in this space with the micro camp, this is where they're really learning about themselves. They're learning about the value they can add because they know who they are. And then we get them to also then look at some actionable steps that they can encourage other people to take so that they can bring about change in the world. And then, of course, when we get to the academy level, it's, well, taking that and then turning it into a business. So there's all the different steps that we take. And as I said, we involve not only our educators and our facilitators, but we got our parents in there as well. So that's the opportunity that you have to be involved. And just going over to the actual page where we have this information, we look about, well, what are the reasons that you would want your child to be involved in something like this? It's not only just for them to improve their confidence and self-esteem, and also to learn some life skills that will help them to also improve their grades, but it's really also allowing an opportunity for you to be connected with your child on this journey as well. And so they get to work with experienced facilitators, people who are successful in business. We have mentors come in and share what they have learned and then share those strategies with them. And we often say to the kids, you know, we're at this level in our businesses and we know that these kids are going to jump ahead of us at an earlier age because of what they're learning. You know, they just take it all in. They're like big sponges, and they're not too risk adverse. They're willing to go out there and give it a go. Whereas we would start to create all these excuses of why we couldn't do this and couldn't do that, because we bring our adult mind to it. Whereas these kids still bring that open curiosity and imagination and wonderment to the scenario. So we have our facilitators in there as well. We've got a team that we try and keep it to small groups when we do our facilitation, so that they get a little bit more personalised small group learning space as well. So in the program, they get the 4 weeks, which is the 1 hour Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the Tuesday, Thursday are our implementation times. And of course, there's work to do offline, but the online is really getting them focused on all of that, the material that they're needing. And then we have small group implementation. They get their profile in there as well. And that's a really unique report for them. They begin to understand who they are and how they can tap into their unique strengths. But also when we take them through how they build their team, we say to them, you don't want someone who's like you, because all you'll do is sit around the table and backslap each other and say how great you are without actually moving forward. So you need some different people on your team. So that's the whole program there. And if you like, I can put this page in there. But what I would encourage you to do is not use the link on this page to sign up, because they'll want to be asking you to sign up for the top price of $9.97. The way that you grab one of these spots is you book a call with one of our Igniter team, and they'll take you through the process there. And I can see Penny's got that into the chat there for you. So it's really a case of whether anyone has some questions that they want, and I might just stop sharing at this point. So you can chat, put things into chat, or if you are a brave soul, you can unmute and ask a question. Angie and I are here to help you because we've got some time to do that. Any questions in the chat there, Angie? Because I haven't really been watching that.
No questions in the chat, or none that haven't been answered. So just some comments. Awesome, so cool. Proud dad moment for Rich. Yeah, just comments generally, asking about how to booking a call. Mugi, that's great news that you've booked in. It's great to have that call and learn a bit more about it. So even if you're just curious, we encourage you to book a call, because it's always valuable to speak to somebody and learn a bit more about what we do, even if it's just to inspire you to do more. So definitely booking a call if you're curious about what we're doing and how we do it.
And also too, if you may not have children of that age, but you might know someone who does, and you might think, wow, this should be a great opportunity for them. So please feel free to share that information. We'll get an email out to you, and it will have the slides there, but it'll also have a link to the recording, so you can share that with people. And that way then you give them the opportunity for their child to participate in a program, because we are about developing these future skills. You know, that white paper talks about skills by 2025, but you and I know that by 2025, there's going to be another whole set of skills that we're going to need when we see the impact of globalization, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality. I mean, you know, I could just keep rolling these terms off my tongue, but this is what our world's like. It's changing at a significantly rapid rate. And we don't want to have our kids not having that opportunity to embrace this chance to be a young entrepreneur. You know, if I was still of an age of having a young entrepreneur, I'd be encouraging them, because I'd be saying, okay, kiddo, away you go. I'll help you develop your business, and then I'll sit back and relax and semi-retire. So, you know, it's really great. Penny, you have a finger up?
Yeah, there's a question that came in about how much time does it take per day for the course?
Yeah, so it's 1 hour a day, and we have mornings and evenings according to time zones. And so there's a 1 hour online, and then there'd be probably another hour offline that they would need to do, because each time we have a session, we have a little task, a little activity for them to go away and do. And it might be a simple activity that they do, and then we then build on that the next time we meet. So each time when they meet, there'll be activity tasks to do. But then when we get to the last week, we spend a lot of time working with them to get their promotion plan tidied up. And of course, we have our graduation. And then the exciting part is that when we have our graduation, we have 2 winners and 4 runners up. And so we have prizes for them to get. And then part of the prize is some investment into their business to help them to kind of get a great start. So that's where we're at with that. So probably, Angie, I think just ending off with the particular statement we've got here from John Dewey is, education is not preparation for life, it's education for itself. And if we go back to the opening statement of Nelson Mandela, education is going to be a powerful tool for young people going forward. And this is a great opportunity for them to be involved.
Yeah, Karen, and I'd just like to say as well, Robin was talking about on the call how, you know, there's some resistance from his children about looking at other options like Genius School. Well, I would suggest, Robin, book a call and learn more about the current extracurricular programs we have. Like, we have virtual camps. We will have more face-to-face camps in the future, but we've got short 2 to 4 day camp events that could be just a taster for your children about what Genius School's about. Or we've got our Teen Quest or Young Entrepreneur Academy. So there are definitely a number of options for you to explore with your children. So definitely just book a call and find out more. You've got nothing to lose and potentially such a lot to gain from that short conversation. So I'd encourage you to do that for sure. Yeah. Cool. Well, it's so great to see everybody. And Penny.
Sorry, there's another question. So about whether, as a teacher, is there anything that someone can actually do or learn?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we have our Genius Educator program, which is designed for educators, being teachers, parents. We've had child psychologists, we've had teacher librarians, we've had a whole host of different people from all walks of life, parents too, attending our Genius Educator program, and they've found it hugely valuable because it teaches how to put the child at the center of all learning experiences, and essentially much of what Karen and myself were talking about today. So, you know, certainly for anyone homeschooling their children or anyone with children, I would highly recommend it. So if you are interested in that, then book a call and we can discuss that further with you. And we've got a couple of our Genius educators on this call today, actually. It's so great to see you. You know, aside from what we learn on the program, we have an amazing community. You know, just imagine learning and earning with people of like-minded people, and, you know, global community of like-minded people. So it's just so great, yeah, to build that community and to build that knowledge base globally. So yeah, hi Phil, hi Rich, hi Sebastian, so great to see you all. And that's all I can see on this screen. And we've got Kerry too. Yeah.
Yeah, so as Penny said, if you sorry
Karen.
Yeah, so if as Penny has got in the chat there, if you want to know more about any of the programs, that same link, because the people who will be on that call know what we're doing, and they can share the information with you. So if you have any questions, that's the best way to go at this stage.
Cool.
So thank you very much for giving up your time. And if you do have your kids joining us, I can assure you they will be in for a fun, great learning experience.
Thank you all, and see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.